Welcome to our exploration of non-attachment, a profound spiritual principle that can transform our lives. In this discussion, we're going to unravel the layers of non-attachment, understanding its deep meanings and how it applies to our daily experiences. Non-attachment is often misunderstood. Many think it means detaching from the world around us, living in isolation, or not caring about outcomes. However, true non-attachment is much richer. It invites us to engage fully with life, but without clinging to outcomes, people, or things. It teaches us to experience the flow of life without being ensnared by it. Let's start by exploring the foundational aspect of non-attachment: freedom from desire. Desires are natural. They drive us to pursue goals, form relationships, and seek personal growth. Yet, when desires turn into dependencies, we lose our freedom. We start defining our happiness by whether we achieve these desires or not. Non-attachment asks us to shift our perspective. What if we could pursue our goals with passion but remain at peace regardless of the outcome? Imagine the liberation in knowing that your inner peace does not depend on external circumstances. This is the essence of non-attachment to outcomes. Consider how often our peace is disturbed by things not going our way. We become upset, anxious, or even depressed. Now, think about a situation in your own life where you felt this way. What if, in that moment, you had reminded yourself that the outcome does not control your happiness, that you could choose to remain serene and content? Non-attachment doesn't diminish our efforts or the importance of our goals. Instead, it enhances our experience by removing the fear of failure and the anxiety of uncertainty. Moving deeper, non-attachment also relates to our relationships. We often think that to love deeply we must cling tightly, but true love thrives in freedom. When we practice non-attachment in relationships, we love without imposing conditions or expecting specific behaviors. This doesn't mean we don't care. Rather, it means we love and care about someone's well-being without trying to control or own them. How freeing would it be to enjoy relationships that are not burdened by expectations but are simply allowed to be? Now, let's apply this to our own lives. Look at your most significant relationships. Do you hold them lightly with openness, or is there a fear of loss that dictates how you interact? Imagine engaging with loved ones with a mindset of non-attachment, where your interaction is not about holding on to them, but appreciating your time together, knowing that each moment is complete in itself. Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lessons. Furthermore, non-attachment significantly impacts our personal growth. When we are not attached to a specific image of ourselves, we open up to true self-discovery. Often we confine ourselves to who we think we should be or who others expect us to be. Non-attachment allows us to let go of these preconceived notions and explore who we really are, beyond the labels and roles we play in society. Imagine for a moment a life where you are not defined by your job, your social status, or even your past mistakes. How would you approach life if you were free from these labels? This freedom is what non-attachment offers. It encourages us to live authentically, aligned with our true values and aspirations, not the expectations imposed by others or even by ourselves. As we conclude this first part of our discussion on non-attachment, consider how embracing non-attachment to outcomes, relationships, and self-image could transform your experience of life. How might your daily actions change if they were not driven by attachment but by a genuine alignment with your true self? Mastering emotional equilibrium. The role of non-attachment in emotional resilience and relationship harmony. In the second segment of our exploration of non-attachment, we delve into the transformative power it has over our emotional landscape. Non-attachment offers a profound way to navigate the complexities of our emotions and relationships, fostering resilience and deeper connections. Emotions are essential. They color our lives and guide our interactions. However, when we become overly attached to our emotions, they start to dictate our decisions and reactions, often leading to turmoil and distress. Non-attachment provides a valuable perspective shift here. It invites us to experience our emotions fully but without letting them control us. This means feeling anger, sadness, joy, or fear, yet observing these emotions without becoming overwhelmed or defined by them. Imagine you are in a situation that typically triggers a strong emotional response in you. With non-attachment, instead of immediately reacting, you take a moment to observe your feelings. You acknowledge the emotion, understand its origin, and let it pass without allowing it to dictate your actions. This practice doesn't dull our emotional experiences. Rather, it deepens our understanding of ourselves and enhances our control over how we respond. This approach is especially crucial in our interactions with others. Often, conflicts in relationships arise not just from the issues at hand, but from how our emotions escalate the situation. By practicing non-attachment, we can discuss issues calmly and clearly without the conversation being clouded by anger or resentment. This doesn't mean suppressing our feelings, but rather managing them wisely, ensuring that our relationships are governed by mutual respect and understanding rather than impulsive emotional reactions. Non-attachment also teaches us about the impermanence of our emotional states. Just as the weather changes, so do our emotional landscapes. By internalizing this, we can maintain a steady course through both storms and sunshine, knowing that neither state is permanent. This understanding can significantly reduce the anxiety associated with negative emotions and increase our appreciation of positive moments, knowing they are temporary. Now, let us consider the practical application of non-attachment in managing emotional resilience. When faced with a challenging situation, instead of immediately reacting, pause and take a deep breath. This moment of pause is the first step in practicing non-attachment. It gives you space to observe your emotions and choose your response rather than being swept away by initial impulses. Furthermore, non-attachment involves letting go of past hurts and future anxieties. Many of us carry the weight of past grievances or worries about the future, which colors our present experiences and emotional reactions. By practicing non-attachment, we free ourselves from these burdens, allowing us to live more fully in the present moment. This doesn't mean ignoring the past or future, but rather not allowing them to dominate our emotional well-being. As we reflect on this segment, consider how non-attachment could alter your emotional responses and interactions. How could this shift in perspective enhance your relationships and personal well-being? Think about the freedom that could come from not being enslaved by your emotions, but instead navigating them with wisdom and awareness. Embracing impermanence, the transformative power of non-attachment in spiritual growth and daily life. As we journey deeper into the heart of non-attachment, let us now explore how this principle profoundly impacts our spiritual growth and daily practices. This segment will illuminate how non-attachment nurtures a profound connection with our deeper selves and the universe around us, enhancing our spiritual journey and daily experiences. Non-attachment is a cornerstone in many spiritual traditions because it aligns us with the fundamental nature of reality, impermanence, and interdependence. Recognizing that nothing is permanent or exists in isolation helps us break free from the illusions that often cause suffering. By embracing non-attachment, we can experience life more fully, understanding the transient nature of all things, including our own experiences, and possessions. One pivotal aspect of non-attachment in spiritual growth is its role in meditation and mindfulness practices. When we meditate, we often encounter a stream of thoughts and distractions. The practice of non-attachment allows us to observe these thoughts without getting entangled in them. Each thought or sensation is acknowledged and then gently released. This practice deepens our ability to concentrate and remain present, enhancing our connection to the moment and to our true selves. Consider how often our minds are cluttered with thoughts about what we need to achieve or acquire to be happy or fulfilled. Non-attachment shifts this perspective, teaching us that true peace comes not from external conditions, but from an inner state of calm and acceptance. How liberating it is to realize that we already possess everything we need within ourselves. This realization opens us up to a deeper level of contentment and gratitude for what is, rather than a constant striving for more. Furthermore, non-attachment fosters a greater sense of compassion and empathy. When we are not attached to our own viewpoints or desires, we become more open to understanding others. This openness is the foundation of true compassion, which is not just about feeling for someone, but also about understanding their perspective and experiences without judgment. By practicing non-attachment, we can relate to others more authentically, seeing beyond our preferences and biases. In practical terms, implementing non-attachment in daily life can start with simple mindfulness exercises. For instance, when you notice yourself getting attached to a particular outcome or material possession, take a moment to reflect on why this attachment has formed. What fear or desire is driving this attachment? By understanding the root of our attachments, we can begin to loosen their hold on us, leading to greater freedom and ease. Non-attachment also teaches us to embrace change rather than resist it. Life is a dynamic flow of changing circumstances, relationships, and states of being. By accepting change as inherent to life, we align ourselves with the natural order of the world, reducing our suffering from unmet expectations and unforeseen changes. As we conclude this segment, reflect on how non-attachment might change your approach to spiritual practices and daily living. How might seeing things as they are, without the filter of personal desires and fears, change your experience of the world? The ultimate freedom. Embracing liberation through non-attachment. Non-attachment, when deeply integrated into our lives, leads to a state of liberation that transcends ordinary experiences of happiness and unhappiness. It is a freedom that comes not from acquiring something external, but from releasing the internal constraints that bind us. This liberation is the heart of spiritual enlightenment, where one is free from the dualities of life, pleasure and pain, success and failure, praise and blame. The pinnacle of non-attachment is the realization that our true nature is neither diminished nor enhanced by our possessions, achievements, or social status. We come to understand that at our core we are complete and whole, regardless of external conditions. This realization frees us from the relentless cycle of desire and aversion, leading us to live with a profound sense of peace and fulfillment. Imagine living each day with the understanding that you are fundamentally okay, no matter what happens. This doesn't mean you don't strive to improve or change things for the better, but your inner happiness isn't contingent on those outcomes. How would this change your approach to challenges and opportunities? Practically, non-attachment allows us to approach tasks and relationships with a lightness of being. We do our best, but we are not overly concerned with the results. This approach not only reduces stress but also enhances our effectiveness, as we are not paralyzed by fear of failure or overly fixated on success. We are free to innovate, experiment, and love without holding back, knowing that our worth is not at stake. Moreover, non-attachment nurtures a profound sense of freedom in our interactions with others. When we are not attached to particular responses or behaviors from people, we can offer our true selves and accept the true selves of others, fostering deeper and more authentic relationships. This freedom also extends to our view of life's inevitable losses and endings. Non-attachment prepares us to face transitions, including the ultimate transition of death, with equanimity and grace. Understanding that everything is transient, we cherish the present moment without clinging to it when it's time to let go. As we wrap up this discussion, reflect on how the practice of non-attachment could liberate you from the pressures and anxieties that come from clinging too tightly to things, people, or outcomes. Consider how this freedom could enhance your ability to love, work, and live with a joyful heart. Embracing non-attachment doesn't mean we become detached from the world. Rather, it means we engage with the world more fully, more freely, and with a greater capacity to experience joy and peace, regardless of circumstances. Thank you for joining me in this exploration of non-attachment. May this understanding guide you toward a life of true freedom and deep fulfillment. Are you ready to take these insights and integrate them into your daily life, experiencing the profound liberation that comes with true non-attachment?